I speak to you now with a clarity that carries the weight of heaven. This Christmas marks a divine turning point in your story. I have breathed renewal into your spirit, broken the interruptions that tried to delay you, reopened your vision, restored your strength, aligned your destiny, lifted old burdens, and opened paths where you once saw only closed doors. Nothing, absolutely nothing, will block what I have appointed for this new cycle. For every place where you felt tired, I released restoration. For every door that resisted you, I prepared a better one. For every fear that whispered against your purpose, I awakened courage. For every delay that confused you, I revealed timing. For every desire you carried in waiting, I shaped your capacity to receive. And now, with my own hand, I make all things new, not slowly, not partially, but completely. Your heart, your steps, your vision, your story. Everything comes into alignment under my voice. This is the moment where heaven leans close and says, "Your new season begins now." I am already breathing renewal into you, and this breath is not symbolic or distant. It is real, intentional, and released from my heart with purpose. I chose this Christmas to be a turning point for you. Not a holiday, not a tradition, but a divine moment where something inside you rises again. I am touching places you thought were too quiet, too dry, or too far from change. And I tell you, when I choose to renew you, nothing stands between my will and your reality. You have carried an inner tiredness that few people see. There were days when hope felt like a garden you kept trying to water, yet the soil seemed unresponsive. And still, I never asked you to give up. I asked you to wait for my breath, and now it comes. It reaches roots you forgot existed, awakens dreams you buried out of fear, and brings light to areas you assumed would stay the same forever. Nothing in you is hidden from me. Nothing is beyond my reach. I know the moments when you tried to convince yourself, maybe it's not for me anymore, and maybe it's over. Maybe God won't move again. But listen carefully. I never stopped writing your story. What felt like a pause was simply me drawing breath. What felt like silence was me working in depths you couldn't see. What felt like delay was alignment, not punishment, not rejection, alignment. This breath I release today is not aimed at merely improving surface-level situations. I am renewing you from the inside out. I am refreshing the convictions worn down by time, strengthening the courage that slipped through your fingers, restoring the trust that doubt tried to erode. And I do this without criticizing you, without rushing you, without demanding a strength you don't have. I renew you because you are mine, because I chose you, because I see you clearly. Not the version you try to present, but the one you hide when you feel overwhelmed. You will notice shifts in the atmosphere of your thoughts. Patterns that held you begin to weaken. Emotional weight that sat on your chest begins to lift. Clarity returns like a familiar voice you thought you lost. My renewal enters gently, impacts deeply, and remains intentionally. Let me give you an image so you understand what I'm doing. It is like morning light entering a room you forgot had a window. For years, that corner felt dark, forgotten, unchanged. But when the light breaks in quietly, effortlessly, without asking permission, the entire room looks different. What was hidden appears. What was shapeless gains form. What felt dead begins to breathe. That is what my breath is doing inside you this Christmas. It enters. It brightens. It transforms. I am not renewing you to make you better. I am renewing you to realign you with what you were created to carry. So do not measure yourself. Do not compare your pace to others. Do not demand answers too soon. My work in you is personal, intimate, and specific. And if you ask me, Lord, why now? I tell you, because this is the moment I appointed, and my appointed moments never arrive late. And as this renewal flows deeper into you, hear me clearly. I am not only restoring what was weakened, I am awakening what was waiting. Some parts of you remain silent, not because they were broken, but because the timing was not aligned. You were never meant to bloom in a season that couldn't sustain you. But now, the atmosphere around your life shifts because I have declared a new beginning over you. You will feel a gentle courage returning, a quiet boldness that does not shout, but stands firm. This courage is the result of my presence stabilizing what was shaking inside you. I am reintroducing you to hope without the fear of disappointment, to desire without the fear of loss, to vision without the weight of past failures. I touch the places where expectation once hurt, and I teach you to expect goodness again, not because circumstances changed, but because my breath brought life back to your spirit. And you must understand this truth. Renewal is not fragile. It does not vanish because you feel tired. It does not crumble when old memories surface. It does not disappear when fear whispers. What I renew, I protect. What I awaken, I nurture. What I begin, I finish. There will be moments when buried emotions rise, not to overwhelm you, but because I am healing them. There will be dreams that begin to breathe again, not to tease you, but because their time is approaching. There will be mindsets and environments you quietly outgrow, not because you are running away, but because you are finally aligning with who you were designed to become. Let me give you an image to understand this. Picture a tree that has endured a long winter. From the outside, it appears lifeless, empty, forgotten. But beneath the surface, renewal waits patiently. And when warmth returns, the tree does not struggle, force, or doubt. It simply responds. Life rises because life was always within it. You are that tree, and this season is the warmth I am sending. I am awakening what has been dormant. I am strengthening what remained faithful. I am bringing color back to places inside you that settled for survival instead of growth. I am restoring your capacity to feel joy without fear, peace without tension, and hope without hesitation. Do not ask, Lord, is this truly for me? Ask instead, Lord, help me receive everything you are releasing, because my renewal is not shallow. It is deep, lasting, and aligned with your divine purpose. Walk with me in this process, and you will see. Renewal is not something happening around you, it is something I am rebuilding within you. If this spoke to your heart, write in the comments, Jesus, I receive this renewal. I want you to hear this with the weight of truth. What I have planned for your life in this new cycle cannot be blocked. Not by fear, not by people, not by delays, not by spiritual resistance, not by your past, and not by anything that once tried to break you. When I decree movement, no force can stop it. When I open a path, no barrier can rise high enough to close it. My word is not fragile, and my purposes do not tremble under pressure. There were moments in your journey when it felt like everything around you was resisting your progress, as if every step forward was met with invisible opposition. You tried, you pushed, you prayed, and still the ground seemed slow, heavy, or unmoving. But listen to me, those were not signs of blockage. They were signs of timing. Nothing stood in your way except the unfolding of the perfect moment I prepared, and that moment begins now. In this new cycle, I remove the illusion that something or someone can stop my work in your life. What felt like a wall will be revealed as a door you had not yet reached. What felt like a delay will be revealed as alignment. What felt like not working will be revealed as not yet. You did not fail. You were being positioned. Let me show you something. Imagine a river that encounters rocks along its path. To the eye, it might seem hindered, but the river is not blocked. It is being shaped. It flows, bends, adjusts, and keeps moving with purpose. And in time, it carves a way through everything that once appeared unmovable. You are that river, and I am the one who guides your flow. There is no voice of doubt strong enough to undo what I have designed. There is no attack powerful enough to cancel what I have spoken. There is no season dark enough to bury what I planted in you. What is mine cannot be stolen. What I bless cannot be reversed. What I begin cannot be sabotaged. You will see this truth unfold in ways that surprise you. Doors that once seemed sealed will open with ease. Opportunities you thought you lost will return in a better form. Paths that felt unclear will become straight. Even the places where you felt defeated will carry new meaning, because I am turning what resisted you into what strengthens you. And understand this. I am not defending you from a position of distance. I am standing inside your story with authority. I go before you, not behind you. I clear the atmosphere before you step into it. I speak to circumstances before you encounter them. I silence storms before you see the clouds. I handle battles long before they touch you. Nothing, absolutely nothing, and will block what I have appointed for this new cycle. And there is more I need you to understand. What once resisted you will no longer have permission to stand in your way. I am not simply removing obstacles. I am removing the influence they once had over your heart. The shadows that made you hesitate, the voices that made you doubt, the patterns that made you shrink back. They lose authority in this new cycle because my hand is now visibly upon your path. You will notice that things which once felt heavy begin to lose their weight. The pressure that used to suffocate your momentum will loosen. The confusion that clouded your decisions will lift. I am not only clearing your way externally, I am clearing it internally. Your mind will have space again. Your heart will breathe again. Your steps will feel guided, not guessed. Your decisions will feel aligned, not forced. And hear me, nothing that belongs to darkness can interfere with the story I have marked with light. Nothing planted in fear can uproot what I planted in purpose. Nothing temporary can override my eternal plans for you. You have faced moments that felt like invisible resistance, as if unseen hands were holding you back. But now I reveal the truth. Those were battles I fought for you, not battles you lost. I stood between you and what tried to reach you. I intervened in places you never saw. I silenced attacks before they found you. I redirected paths before danger touched you. Much of what you called delay was actually protection, and now that the season has shifted, the protection becomes progress. Things will accelerate, not chaotically, but clearly. You will see doors open not one at a time, but in patterns. You will sense momentum building from directions you did not expect. This is not random. This is orchestration. I am arranging circumstances, conversations, opportunities, and alignments that lead you directly into what I planned before you ever prayed for it. Let me give you an image so you can feel what I am doing. Imagine a path covered with thick fog. You could walk, but only with uncertainty, only with slow steps, only with hesitation. Yet as the sun rises, the fog dissolves, not because it tries to move, but because the light makes it disappear effortlessly. I am that light rising over your path. Watch the fog disappear. There will be moments where you look back and finally understand why something didn't work, why someone left, why a door closed, why a season ended. Not as pain, but as clarity. My plans are not random threads. They are precise, intentional, and woven with wisdom, far deeper than what you felt in the moment. And every piece, even the uncomfortable ones, brought you to this exact point. So walk forward knowing this. No force is strong enough to stop what I am unfolding. No delay is powerful enough to cancel my timing. No opposition is capable of undoing my decree. No barrier stands when I declare movement. Everything I appointed for this new cycle will reach you, and you will be ready to carry it. I see the places inside you where exhaustion settled quietly, not the kind that shows on the outside, but the kind that hides beneath your thoughts, beneath your responsibilities, beneath the strength you try to carry alone. And I tell you with authority and tenderness, I am removing that weariness from your heart. Not temporarily, not partially, completely. There are layers of tiredness that you learned to live with, as if they were part of who you are now. Tiredness that came from trying to stay strong when you felt fragile. Tiredness from carrying questions without answers. Tiredness from pushing through seasons that demanded more from you than they gave back. And tiredness from hoping while feeling like hope was slow to respond. But hear me. I never designed you to live with silent exhaustion. I never intended for you to carry emotional weight as if it were normal. I never asked you to pretend you were fine while your heart whispered for rest. I am stepping into the inner rooms of your heart, the ones you don't show, the ones you don't voice, the ones you don't even fully understand. And I am restoring you from the inside out. This is not a surface renewal. This is a deep restoration, one that touches the roots of what tired you. You will begin to notice a shift, not because you forced it, but because my presence heals what pressure could not. I am calming the inner noise that made it hard for you to feel peace. I am soothing the tensions that tightened your chest. I am quieting the thoughts that drained you. The heaviness you carried does not belong to the future I am leading you into. So I remove it now. Let me give you a picture of what I'm doing inside you. Imagine a room that has been dim for a long time, not because the light was broken, but because the curtains remained closed. Dust settled, colors faded, and the room felt lifeless. But then someone gently opens the curtains, and sunlight fills the space effortlessly. The dust becomes visible only so it can be cleared. The colors return because light restores them. You are that room. And my presence is the light entering. I am not asking you to pretend you are strong. I am making you strong again. I am restoring emotional energy you didn't realize you had lost. I am breathing peace into places where you only felt pressure. And I am doing this without rushing you, without pushing you, without demanding more than you can give. You will feel me unclench the places inside you that tightened from fear. You will feel me steady the parts of your heart that trembled from uncertainty. You will feel me lift the silent heaviness you've carried for far too long. This restoration is gentle, but it is powerful, and once it begins, it does not reverse. Because you are not being restored to who you were. You are being restored to who you're becoming. And as I continue restoring you from within, listen closely. The healing I am working in you is not fragile, and it is not temporary. You are entering a season where the emotional weight you once carried will no longer have permission to sit on your shoulders. What once drained you will lose its influence. What once made you feel small will no longer define your inner world. I am reaching the places where your heart grew tired from trying, tired from waiting, tired from holding on, tired from fighting unseen battles. You learned to function while feeling empty. You learned to move forward while feeling worn. You learned to survive seasons that were never meant to shape your identity. But I tell you now, I am restoring your emotional strength in a way that feels like breathing freely again. You will begin to feel me loosening the knots inside your chest, the places where disappointment settled, where pressure accumulated, where uncertainty created tension. You will feel clarity returning, not as force, but as peace. You will sense hope rising, not as a dream, but as truth. I am renewing the emotional energy you thought you had lost forever. And understand this: my restoration does not depend on your past. My restoration does not depend on your perfection. My restoration does not depend on whether you feel ready. My restoration depends on my love, and that does not change. Let me show you what is happening inside you. Picture a cracked vessel that has carried water for years. It leaks slowly, silently, and you don't notice how much you're losing until one day you realize you're empty. But then, a skilled craftsman picks up that vessel, not to replace it, but to restore it. He fills every crack, reinforces every weak line, and makes it stronger than before. I am that craftsman, and you are that vessel. I am restoring your heart until joy feels natural again. I am restoring your mind until peace feels normal again. I am restoring your spirit until hope feels effortless again. This is deep healing, slow enough to be gentle, strong enough to be permanent. You will not return to the version of yourself that was tired. You will rise into the version of yourself that is whole. And now, as this restoration continues, I want you to take one small step that aligns your heart with what I'm doing. Stay connected to the words that strengthen your spirit. Let yourself remain where you are being lifted, renewed, and restored. So if this message touched you deeply, do this now. Subscribe, turn on notifications, leave a like, because every time you stay connected to words that carry my presence, you make room for even deeper healing. Stay close to what strengthens you, and watch how your heart begins to rise again. I have seen every moment when you stood before places that looked sealed shut, moments where you whispered to yourself, maybe this is not meant for me, maybe this door will never open. You looked at circumstances that refused to move, attempts that seemed to fail, and opportunities that slipped through your fingers. And the conclusion felt unavoidable: this door is closed. But listen to me now. I am opening paths where you believed nothing could change. You walked through seasons where the silence of a closed door felt louder than your prayers. You questioned your timing, your worth, your ability, your direction. You wondered if you had misheard me, or if I had changed my mind. But I tell you with clarity, every closed door had purpose. Not punishment, purpose. Not rejection, protection. Not abandonment, alignment. There were doors I did not allow to open, because what waited behind them would have drained you, delayed you, or derailed what I was building within you. There were rooms that looked attractive, but would have broken parts of you I am now healing. There were opportunities that glittered, but would have taken you away from the path of destiny I designed for you. So I closed the door, not to deny you, but to defend you. And now, the shift begins. The season where you felt surrounded by walls is ending. You are stepping into a moment where paths will appear that were invisible before, not because they didn't exist, but because the time had not yet arrived. There are doors you walked past for years that will suddenly open. There are places where you saw nothing but impossibility that will unfold with ease. Let me show you something. Imagine a hallway where every door you tried stayed locked. You tried to stay hopeful, but each turn felt discouraging. Yet what you could not see was that at the end of that hallway, I was crafting a doorway built specifically for you. A path that aligned with who you are becoming, not who you used to be. That is the door I am opening now. And when I open a door, it opens with purpose, not with pressure, not with strain, not with fear. You will not have to force your way into what I am giving you. You will not have to beg for acceptance. You will not have to prove your value. You will simply walk, and the path will make itself known beneath your feet. There will be opportunities that return with greater clarity than before. There will be ideas that rise in your spirit at unexpected moments. There will be connections that seem random, but are divinely timed. There will be movement in areas where you thought everything had stopped permanently. Understand this. I am not just opening a door. I am opening the right door, the one that carries destiny, the one that carries peace, the one that matches the version of you I am shaping, the one that prepares you for the future I designed long before you prayed for it. And soon you will look back and say with certainty, that door was closed because something greater was waiting for me. And while I open these new paths before you, there is something deeper I want you to understand. I am not only changing what is in front of you, I am changing what is within you, so you can walk through what I am releasing. New doors require new strength, new clarity, and new vision. And that is why I have been shaping you long before you ever saw movement. The doors that once refused to open were not a measure of your capability. They were a measure of timing, my timing. There were lessons that could only be learned in stillness, foundations that could only be built in quiet seasons, and faith that could only grow when nothing seemed to be happening. You thought the waiting meant something was wrong, but the waiting was the preparation that makes this new path sustainable. And now that the season has shifted, the path you're about to walk will not require the same battles you faced before. The walls that once resisted you will not rise again. The confusion that once clouded your way will not return. I am bringing you into a place where the clarity of my guidance becomes unmistakable. Let me show you a picture so you can feel the truth of this moment. Imagine standing before a massive gate that never opened. You touched it, prayed before it, cried near it, and eventually believed it would remain closed forever. But then, one day, without warning, the locks release, the hinges shift, and the gate opens effortlessly, not because of your strength, but because the one who holds the keys turned them at the appointed time. This is the kind of opening you are stepping into now. And as you walk forward, you will notice something else. The path ahead carries a grace you did not feel before. You will not be fighting to prove that you belong. You will not be battling to stay afloat. You will not be struggling to make things happen. Where I lead you now, provision meets you, clarity guides you, and peace walks beside you. The opportunities that unfold will carry my signature. They will align with your spirit instead of exhausting it. They will expand you without breaking you. They will challenge you without crushing you. They will feel like recognition of who you truly are, not pressure to become something you are not. And hear this deeply. No door I open for you will require you to shrink, compromise your identity, or silence your worth. I am opening paths that match the person I have been forming in you. Not the version shaped by fear, not the version shaped by disappointment, but the version shaped by my presence, my process, and my love. This is why old doors remained closed. They were too small for who you are becoming. The path I reveal now is wide enough for your calling, bright enough for your clarity, steady enough for your healing, strong enough for your destiny. Walk forward. What once blocked you will now clear before you. What once resisted you will now release you. What once confused you will now make sense. Because this time, you are not walking into possibility. You are walking into fulfillment. I have seen the moments when you felt unable to move forward, not because you lacked desire, but because something inside you felt drained, heavy, or uncertain. You faced battles that demanded more strength than you had, and you walked through seasons that quietly emptied your courage. There were situations where fear whispered louder than faith, where disappointment weakened your confidence, where repeated struggles made you feel smaller than the calling I placed inside you. But listen to me, I am renewing your strength. Not the kind of strength that simply helps you survive, but the kind that empowers you to rise, to confront, to move, to overcome. There were things that once paralyzed you, decisions you hesitated to make, steps you were afraid to take, opportunities that felt too big, conversations that felt too heavy, and unknowns that felt too intimidating. But the season where fear had permission to slow you down is ending. I am restoring a strength within you that does not come from pressure, but from my presence. This renewal is not born from your effort. It is born from my touch. When I strengthen you, something shifts inside you that you cannot explain logically. A quiet confidence rises, a clarity settles, a courage awakens that feels deeper than emotion. It feels like breathing again after holding your breath for too long. Let me give you a picture. Imagine a runner who has carried the weight of exhaustion for miles. Every step feels heavier than the last, and eventually, they believe they have reached the end of their capacity. But then, a fresh wind rises, unexpected, gentle, empowering. It lifts their pace, steadies their breath, and reignites their strength. They run again, not because the path changed, but because their strength was renewed. You are that runner, and I am the wind rising behind you. I renew your strength so that what once intimidated you now feels conquerable. I renew your strength so that what once confused you now feels manageable. I renew your strength so that what once wounded you now loses its power over you. The things that used to drain your courage will no longer control your steps. The voices that once made you hesitate will no longer shape your decisions. The fears that once whispered you can't will be silenced by the truth. You will, because I am with you. And to understand what I am doing inside you, hear this. Strength is not simply the ability to push through pain. Strength is the ability to walk with peace. Strength is the ability to move without fear. Strength is the ability to stand in truth even when pressure surrounds you. Strength is the confidence that you are not alone. This is the kind of strength I am giving you. A strength that is steady, not frantic. A strength that is peaceful, not forced. A strength that grows quietly but holds power deeply. And soon, you will look at battles that once scared you, and you will feel no fear, you will feel readiness. Because I am not only renewing your strength, I am awakening your authority. And as this new strength rises in you, I want you to understand something profoundly important. The battles that once overwhelmed you were never meant to define you. They were meant to reveal what I would build within you. You saw them as signs of weakness, but I saw them as invitations for transformation. And now that transformation begins to take full shape. There were moments when fear tightened your steps, when hesitation wrapped around your decisions, when uncertainty made you feel unqualified or unprepared. You believed the struggle was proof that something was wrong with you, but it was not. The struggle was simply the edge of your old strength. And now I am giving you new strength. Strength that does not break when pressure comes. Strength that does not fade when storms rise. Strength that does not collapse when the unknown stands before you. This renewal is not loud. It is steady, not dramatic, but deep, not temporary, but lasting. You will begin to notice that situations which once drained you no longer carry the same weight. Conversations that felt intimidating will flow with clarity. Tasks that seemed impossible will now feel achievable. Emotions that once overwhelmed you will settle calmly beneath my peace. This is what transformation feels like from the inside. Subtle at first, undeniable as it grows. Let me show you an image so you can feel what I'm doing. Imagine a lamp whose flame has weakened over time. It still burns, but dimly, quietly, almost unnoticed. Then, someone comes and shields it from the wind, trims the wick, refuels the oil, and suddenly the flame grows, brighter, steadier, stronger. Not because the lamp changed, but because it was tended by careful hands. You are that flame, and I am the one tending you. I am strengthening you so you won't merely endure, you will advance. I am strengthening you so fear no longer has the power to whisper lies into your identity. I am strengthening you so you can stand firm even when situations around you shift. I am strengthening you so you can walk boldly into opportunities that once made you feel inadequate. The courage rising in you is not borrowed, it is planted. The peace forming in you is not shallow, it is rooted. The clarity coming to you is not temporary, it is aligned with purpose. There will come a moment, sooner than you expect, when you will face something that once made you tremble. But this time, you will not freeze, you will not shrink back, you will not doubt yourself. Instead, you will feel a calm strength rising from within, a certainty that says, I am not who I was before, I am stronger now. And that strength is not arrogance, it is alignment. It is the recognition that my presence equips you. It is the awareness that you no longer depend on your own resources. It is the understanding that fear is no longer your master. I am. Let this truth settle deeply. The version of you that felt paralyzed is gone. The version of you that felt small is gone. The version of you that felt unprepared is gone. You are rising into a strength shaped by my hands, fueled by my breath, anchored in my love. I want you to understand something sacred. Your destiny is not fragile, and it has never been left to chance. Every step you took, every turn you made, every season you walked through, even the ones that felt confusing or painful, has been held within my hands. I have never lost sight of where you were going, even on the days when you felt lost. There were paths you entered that were never meant to shape your identity, but they shaped your wisdom. There were choices that pulled you in directions that did not reflect your purpose, but none of them removed you from my reach. There were seasons where you felt yourself drifting, but your destiny never drifted from me. Now listen carefully. I am realigning your path, not through pressure, but through clarity. Not through force, but through direction. Not through fear, but through revelation. There were places you were heading that would have worn you down. I am redirecting you. There were relationships you thought you needed, but they were pulling you away from who you truly are. I am releasing you. There were dreams you tried to build prematurely. I am refining them. There were opportunities that glittered but would have stolen your peace. I am closing them. Every adjustment I make is protection. Every shift I bring is intention. Every redirection is love. Let me give you a picture of what I'm doing in this moment. Imagine a traveler walking with a map, trying to reach a destination they can barely imagine. They turn left when they should turn right. They pause when they should walk. They walk when they should rest. But then a guide appears, patient, gentle, wise, and he places his hand on the map, redirecting the path, marking the turns, illuminating the road. Suddenly, the traveler realizes they were never meant to navigate this journey alone. I am that guide, and your life is the map in my hands. I am correcting the subtle misalignments, the small emotional habits, the beliefs that limit you, the patterns that drain you, the fears that slow you down. I am not exposing these things to embarrass you. I am revealing them to heal you. Because a destiny cannot rise fully when the heart is pulled in the wrong direction. You may feel me stirring desires you had abandoned. You may feel me shutting doors you once prayed would stay open. You may feel me shifting your focus away from distractions disguised as opportunities. You may feel me simplifying your path so you can see clearly again. This is not loss, it is alignment. This is not confusion, it is correction. This is not the end. It is the beginning of walking in sync with who you were created to be. And hear this truth deeply. I am not only guiding your steps, I am shaping the ground beneath them. I am not only correcting your direction, I am empowering your purpose. I am not only adjusting your path, I am aligning your destiny with my timing. This is the season where your life begins to make sense in ways it never has before. Patterns will break, cycles will end, clarity will rise, and your heart will finally feel the peace of walking in the path made for you. And as I continue realigning your destiny, I want you to feel the depth of what I am doing. I am not correcting you out of disappointment. I am guiding you out of love. Every adjustment I make is an act of care, not criticism. Every shift I bring is a step toward the life you were always meant to live, not a punishment for where you have been. There were parts of your journey where you tried to force your own direction, not because you were rebellious, but because you were trying to make sense of what you felt. There were seasons where you followed doors that looked promising but were not aligned with who you truly are becoming. There were moments when desperation made you choose quickly and fear made you settle easily. But none of that stopped me. I do not abandon people who are learning. I guide them. And now the guidance becomes clearer. You will notice that things which once confused you will begin to make sense. The tug of war inside your heart will quiet. The tension of indecision will ease. You will feel drawn towards certain things and gently pulled away from others. That is me. That is alignment. There are relationships that will feel lighter to step away from because their season has ended. There are dreams that will feel easier to pursue because the time has come. There are ideas that will suddenly ignite with clarity because I am breathing on them. There are habits that will lose their grip because they no longer match your direction. Alignment produces clarity. Clarity produces peace. Peace produces movement. Let me give you a picture to understand this inner shift. Imagine holding a compass that has been bumped and shaken for years. The needle spins, points in different directions, and you can't tell which way is true. But then, suddenly, the compass is steadied, the shaking stops, the needle locks into place and points with confidence. And for the first time, you know exactly where you're meant to go. That is what I am doing with your heart. I am steadying your compass. I am realigning your desires so they match your calling. I am realigning your values so they match your purpose. I am realigning your timing so it matches your destiny. This is why certain things feel different now, not because you are lost, but because you are finally being guided accurately. And hear this truth. Nothing in your past disqualifies the future I am aligning you with. Not the detours, not the mistakes, not the confusion, not the wandering. I can realign any path because every path is held in my hands. You are entering a season where the steps you take will feel guided, the decisions you make will feel supported, and the direction you walk will feel purposeful. This is not a partial correction. It is a full alignment of your destiny with my heartbeat. You are not behind, you are not late. You are being aligned perfectly when at the right time, for the right purpose, into the right future. If this spoke to your heart, comment, Jesus, align my destiny with your will. I have seen every interruption that rose against you, not just in circumstances, but in your emotions, your plans, your focus, your confidence, your momentum. Some interruptions were external, sudden, unexpected. Others were internal, subtle, and difficult to understand, but none of them had the power to cancel what I designed for you. And now I speak with authority. I am breaking the interruptions that tried to delay your story. There were moments when it felt like progress was slipping away from you, like every time you gained ground, something pushed you backward. Plans were disrupted. Opportunities paused. Emotions tangled themselves. Thoughts grew heavy. It felt as if your life kept catching unexpected waves that knocked you off balance. You wondered, why can't I stay consistent? Why can't I maintain my momentum? But listen to me. Those interruptions were not signs of failure. They were signs of warfare. And I fought for you in ways you never saw. Some interruptions came to distract you from what I was building. Some came to exhaust you before you could rise. Some came to confuse you so you would question your direction. Some came to make you settle for less than what I planned, but none of them succeeded. Not a single one. Because I stood between you and what tried to stop your story. And now, the season of interruption ends. You will begin to notice that the things which once felt disruptive suddenly lose their power over you. Emotional storms that drained you begin to quiet. Patterns that once pulled you off track begin to dissolve. People who created confusion fade from influence. Situations that once scattered your focus lose access to your peace. I am stabilizing you. I am anchoring you. I am securing your momentum. Let me show you a picture so you understand what I'm doing inside your life. Imagine a ship trying to move through waters filled with sudden waves. Every time it tries to gain speed, another wave hits and slows its progress. But then, without warning, the sea calms. The wind aligns. The waves settle. And the ship begins to move forward effortlessly. Not because the captain became stronger, but because the conditions finally aligned with the intended journey. That calm is what I am bringing to your life now. What once pulled you back will release its grip. What once drained your energy will lose its access. What once constantly disrupted your progress will no longer reach you. I am eliminating the distractions that targeted your focus. I am silencing the noise that attacked your peace. I am closing the doors that allowed interruptions to enter. And as I do this, clarity will rise, momentum will return, consistency will strengthen. Your spirit will steady in ways you've never experienced before. This is not a small shift, it is a decisive turning point, because the story I am writing in you cannot be delayed any longer. You are stepping into a stretch of time where progress will finally match your purpose. The interruptions lose their voice now. Your story moves forward, and nothing will break the pace I am establishing in you. And as I bring an end to the interruptions that once disrupted your path, I want you to feel what is truly happening beneath the surface. I am restoring the continuity of your story, the scattered chapters, the broken rhythms, the moments you felt suspended in uncertainty. All of these are being woven back into a steady, unbroken progression. There were times when you began moving in the right direction, only to feel your pace interrupted by confusion, emotional heaviness, unexpected challenges, or the weight of circumstances outside your control. You questioned your own endurance. You questioned your consistency. You questioned whether you were truly capable of carrying what I placed inside you. But I tell you now, you were never the problem. The interruptions were simply loud, and now I silence them. You will begin to feel a strength rising that does not waver when pressure comes. You will feel your mind becoming clearer, more focused, more steady. What once distracted you will no longer pull you away. What once triggered old emotions will lose its influence. You will feel more present, more grounded, more able to maintain the direction I've given you. Let me show you what this looks like. Imagine a line that has been drawn through sand. The wind blows and parts of the line are erased. The tide comes in and sections of the line disappear. It becomes fragmented, uneven, difficult to follow. But then the sand settles, the wind calms, the tide recedes, and the line can be drawn again, this time clearly, boldly, without interruption. This is what I'm doing with your life story. I am redrawing it with clarity and continuity. The delays you faced will become testimonies. The detours you walked will become wisdom. The battles you fought will become strength. None of it will be wasted. All of it will be redeemed. What once interrupted your progress will now be used to anchor your purpose. You will not repeat cycles that drained you. You will not return to patterns that delayed you. The emotional winds that once pushed you off balance will lose their power. You will feel a stability within you that is not based on circumstances, but on my presence. And hear this truth deeply. When I remove interruptions, I do not leave emptiness. I create momentum. Momentum that carries you into the next season. Momentum that aligns with the plans I have written. Momentum that lifts you into progress you long prayed for. The pace of your life will feel different now. Not rushed, but steady. Not chaotic, but purposeful. Not unpredictable, but aligned. You will begin to experience days where peace feels natural, where clarity feels easy, where your actions flow from a place of confidence instead of survival. This is the evidence of a healed rhythm, a restored pace, a protected path. The interruptions have been broken. Your story is no longer fragmented. Your steps will no longer be scattered. You are entering a stretch of time where progress will have continuity, where growth will have direction, and where your story will move forward without the storms that once tried to stop you. I have watched your vision dim at times, not because you lacked faith, but because life pressed against you in ways that made it hard to see clearly. Stress clouded your perspective. Disappointment blurred your focus. Delays made the future feel uncertain. And without realizing it, the sharpness of your spiritual sight softened piece by piece. But listen to me now. I am reigniting your vision. I am restoring the clarity you thought you lost. I am awakening the part of you that sees beyond what is visible. I am making your spiritual senses alive again. There were moments when you felt disconnected from me, not because I was far, but because exhaustion weakened your awareness. You wondered why you couldn't feel me the way you once did. You questioned whether something was wrong with your heart. You worried that maybe you had drifted too far, but none of that was true. Your spirit was simply overwhelmed, and now I'm refreshing it. You will feel your inner clarity return in ways that surprise you. Thoughts that were tangled will begin to straighten. Questions that felt heavy will start to settle. Emotions that created fog will lift. And in that clearing, you will sense me again, not faintly, but vividly. Let me show you this with an image. Imagine a window covered lightly with dust. At first, the view is still visible, but slowly the world beyond becomes muted and unclear. Then someone comes and gently wipes the surface, not harshly, not rushing, but with care. Suddenly the light returns, and the view becomes bright again. You are that window, and I am restoring the clarity of your sight. I am reigniting the dreams that once burned inside you. I am sharpening your ability to discern what is from me and what is not. I am reopening your spiritual ears so you can recognize my whisper. I am restoring the sensitivity that allows your heart to respond quickly when my presence moves. This renewed sensitivity will not make you overwhelmed. It will make you steady. It will not make you emotional. It will make you aware. It will not make you fragile. It will make you confident. You will begin to notice subtle things, a peace that settles before you make decisions, a gentle nudge that guides you away from things not meant for you, an inner knowing that wasn't there before, a sense of direction that rises without fear or confusion. These are signs of your spiritual senses being restored. You are awakening. You are recentering. You are seeing again. And understand this, I am not giving you the same vision you had before. I am giving you a clearer one. Your old sight was shaped by what you walked through. Your new sight is shaped by who you are becoming. I am widening your perspective so you can see opportunities you once overlooked. I am refining your discernment so you can recognize what carries my hand. I am strengthening your inner vision so you no longer doubt the direction I'm leading you. Soon you will say with full certainty, I can see again, and what I see is filled with purpose. And as your vision reignites, I want you to notice the transformation taking place beneath the surface. Clarity is returning not only to your spirit, but to your entire inner world. This is not a momentary spark. It is a rekindling of the deep sensitivity you were created to carry. What once felt distant is drawing close. What once felt muted is becoming vivid. What once felt foggy is clearing with quiet strength. There were seasons when you tried to see, but everything felt blurred. Not because you lacked desire, but because the battles around you created internal noise. The weight of responsibilities dimmed your spiritual awareness. Emotional fatigue made it difficult to perceive subtle things. It wasn't that your vision died, it was simply overshadowed. And now, I am removing the shadows. Your inner perception is awakening in layers. You will begin to feel my nudges with greater accuracy. You will recognize what is me and what is not. You will distinguish between fear and discernment, between impulse and guidance, between noise and truth. As this sensitivity sharpens, you will walk with a confidence that does not come from knowing every detail, but from knowing that I am directing every detail. Let me show you a picture of this awakening. Imagine someone standing in a room filled with dim light. They can navigate, but not well. They bump into things, hesitate, move slowly. Then gradually, the light rises. Not suddenly, gently, steadily. And as it grows, the person realizes the room was never unfamiliar. They simply couldn't see it clearly. This is what is happening in your spirit. The light is rising. You will begin to perceive the spiritual atmosphere around you with deeper intuition. You will notice peace guiding you where logic cannot. You will sense my protection long before danger appears. You will feel truth resonate in your spirit even before you understand it with your mind. And with this restored sensitivity, something else will happen. Your vision for your future will expand. Dreams you buried will surface again. Ideas that once felt unrealistic will suddenly feel timely. Possibilities that seemed unreachable will feel closer than ever. Not because circumstances changed, but because you changed. This renewed vision will help you identify the right opportunities and walk away from the wrong ones. It will empower you to take steps you once avoided. It will give you courage where fear once lived. It will give you hope where disappointment once settled. And I want you to hear this clearly. This restoration of sight is permanent. It is not something you will lose when you feel tired. It is not something that fades with pressure. It is not something that disappears in difficulty. It is anchored in me, and I do not fade. You are not returning to who you used to be spiritually. You are becoming someone more attuned, more aware, more aligned. As your vision sharpens, your steps will follow. As your sensitivity returns, your decisions will align. As your clarity rises, your purpose will unfold. And soon, you will look at your life with renewed eyes and say, I can see now. And what I see is guided by Him. There were things you prayed for that did not arrive when you expected. Not because you were unworthy, not because I ignored you, not because your faith was weak. Those delays were not denials. They were preparation. And now I speak clearly. I am preparing you to carry what I once asked you to wait for. You asked me for blessings, breakthroughs, responsibilities, opportunities, relationships, assignments, callings, and some of them felt slow, distant, or unreachable. You wondered if I had changed my mind. You questioned what was wrong with you. You felt the tension of wanting something deeply, but feeling unready in ways you couldn't express. But hear me. I never forgot what you prayed for. I never dismissed what you desired. I never abandoned what I promised. What you called waiting was actually me shaping your foundation. What you saw as delay was me strengthening your character. What you felt as silence was me deepening your capacity. If I had given you certain things earlier, they would have crushed you, not because they were bad, but because you were carrying wounds, fears, or immaturities that would have collided with the weight of the blessing. I protect my children not only from harm, but from timing that comes too soon. Now the season shifts. You will begin to feel a readiness rising inside you, a readiness that doesn't come from excitement, but from maturity, a readiness that doesn't come from impatience, but from stability, a readiness that comes from having walked through refining seasons that shaped your perspective, your character, your endurance, and your heart. Let me show you an image. Imagine someone carrying a seed and asking for a tree. But before the tree can grow, the soil must be prepared, the roots must strengthen, the ground must be cleared. If the tree grows before the ground is ready, it collapses under its own weight. But when the soil is strong, the roots go deep and the tree rises unshakable. You are the soil I have been preparing, and now the tree is ready to rise. You will notice this inner preparation in subtle ways. You will feel less afraid of responsibility. You will feel more decisive where you once hesitated. You will not be overwhelmed by opportunities that once intimidated you. You will feel a quiet confidence that says, I can carry this now. This is the evidence that your season has shifted. And understand this, when I prepare you, I prepare every part of you. Your emotions, your wisdom, your discernment, your resilience, your identity. I do not hand you a blessing and leave you to figure it out alone. I shape your capacity to sustain what I release. There is something you have been waiting for a long time. Something that once felt too heavy, too far, or too impossible. And I tell you now, you are becoming the person who can carry it. Soon, what you longed for will not overwhelm you. It will fit you. It will align with you. It will make sense to you. because I have been shaping you for the very thing you thought was delayed. And as I prepare you to carry what once required waiting, I want you to understand the depth of this moment. The preparation was never punishment, it was positioning. Everything I allowed you to walk through was shaping the inner strength needed for the blessings that are approaching. What once felt like delay was actually me enlarging your capacity so the weight of your future would not break you, but build you. There were seasons when your heart longed for something your character was still growing into. Seasons when you prayed for doors that would have overwhelmed your emotions if they opened too soon. Seasons when you wanted to run, but your roots needed time to anchor. You saw the waiting as stagnation, but I saw it as construction. You were being built from the inside out, and now the signs of readiness are emerging within you. You will begin to feel a deeper stability, a groundedness that surprises even you. Decisions that once felt heavy will feel clear. Responsibilities that once felt intimidating will feel natural. You will look at things you prayed for years ago and realize, I finally understand why it wasn't time then, and why it's becoming time now. Let me give you an image so this truth can settle in your heart. Imagine a musician waiting to play a grand instrument. They want to perform, but their hands are still learning strength, precision, and discipline. If they play too early, the sound will be messy and discouraging. But once their skill matures, their hands no longer fear the instrument. They master it. This is you. What once felt too big will soon feel made for you. I am aligning your maturity with your destiny. I am aligning your identity with your calling. I am aligning your strength with the weight of the blessings I am releasing. Nothing I give you will be too heavy, because I have prepared you to carry it. And hear this clearly. The things that once scared you will not scare you anymore. The things that once confused you will become assignments you handle with grace. The things you asked for with trembling will soon be things you walk in with confidence. This is what happens when preparation becomes readiness. Your spirit expands to match your purpose. You will not sabotage what I'm giving you. You will not run from what I'm placing in your hands. You will not feel unworthy of what is coming. You will step into it with the quiet certainty of someone who has been shaped by my process, and soon you will see promises rise one after another, not rushed, but perfectly timed. You waited long, but you will not wait empty. You will carry what once overwhelmed you, with strength, with clarity, with peace, and with purpose. If this spoke to you, comment, Jesus, prepare me to carry what you designed for me. I have watched you carry weights that were never meant to remain on your shoulders. Some of them were emotional, burdens from the past, expectations from others, silent pressures you placed on yourself. Some were spiritual, fears, disappointments, unanswered questions, moments where you felt unseen or unheard. And some were simply the heaviness of life, responsibilities, losses, transitions, uncertainties. But hear me now with the full force of my authority. I am making all things new, and I am lifting the old weight from your shoulders. There are parts of your heart that grew tired from holding on, parts of your mind that became tangled from overthinking, parts of your spirit that felt stretched by battles that lasted longer than you expected. You felt the heaviness, even in quiet moments. You carried it in your steps, in your thoughts, in your breathing. And yet, you kept walking. But this is the moment where the heaviness begins to break. Not because you forced change, but because I am speaking newness over you, new strength, new clarity, new peace, new beginnings, new identity, new rhythm, new hope. Let me show you a picture of what I'm doing. Imagine a traveler carrying an old heavy backpack. Inside are things they no longer need, objects from old seasons, burdens from long ago, items collected through pain rather than purpose. The traveler has grown used to the weight, unaware of how deeply it has affected their pace. Then someone gently removes the backpack. The traveler stands taller, breathes deeper, steps lighter, and only then do they realize how heavy the burden truly was. You are that traveler, and I am the one removing the weight. I am not simply making small adjustments in your life. I am making all things new. The renewal I bring touches places you forgot about, places you ignored, and places you thought would never change. I am restoring joy you thought was gone. I am softening areas hardened by disappointment. I am refreshing your spirit where exhaustion made you numb. I am rewriting inner narratives shaped by pain, fear, or past mistakes. You are entering a season where heaviness will no longer feel familiar. Peace will become your new normal. Lightness will feel natural. Rest will feel safe again. And understand this. Newness is not something you have to chase. Newness is something I am giving. Newness is something I am declaring. Newness is something I am placing over your life like a mantle of light. The old weight is falling away because it has no place in the future I am leading you into. You will no longer walk with the fatigue of old battles, the shadows of old fears, or the residue of old seasons. Every step forward will feel different, not forced, not heavy, not hesitant, but steady, lifted and aligned. Soon you will look back and say, I didn't realize how much I was carrying until he lifted it. Because I am not just renewing a moment in your life. I am renewing you. And as I lift the old weight from your shoulders, there is something deeper I want you to feel. The newness I am bringing is not temporary, and it is not fragile. It is not a momentary spark that fades when life gets difficult. It is a transformation that reaches into the very structure of your inner world, your thoughts, your emotions, your expectations, your identity. There were burdens you carried for so long that they began to feel like a part of you. You adjusted your pace to their heaviness. You shaped your decisions around their pressure. You built your strength around the need to endure them. But I tell you now, those burdens were never meant to define you, and they will not follow you into the new season I am opening. What I remove from your shoulders, I remove completely. What I lift from your heart, I lift permanently. What I heal within you, I heal to the root. You will notice it in subtle ways first. A sense of lightness that feels unfamiliar but comforting. A peace that appears in moments where anxiety once lived. A clarity that rises where confusion used to cloud your vision. A new strength that doesn't come from effort, but from rest. Let me show you a picture of what this transformation looks like. Imagine walking through a dark valley carrying heavy armor. Armor you needed in past battles. Armor that protected you when you were wounded. Armor that helped you survive seasons of pressure. But when the valley ends and the sun rises, the armor becomes unnecessary weight, and the one who walked beside you gently removes it piece by piece until you can move freely again. You are stepping into the sunrise now, and I am removing every piece of heavy armor you no longer need. This newness I release over your life will touch places you thought were unchangeable. Memories that once stung will lose their power. Fears that once controlled you will weaken. Old narratives will break and be replaced with truth. The heaviness that once sat on your spirit will dissolve. You will begin to respond differently, not out of survival, but out of healing. You will choose differently, not out of fear, but out of identity. You will dream differently, not out of longing, but out of confidence. The future I am leading you into cannot be carried with yesterday's burdens. This is why I am lifting them now. This is why you feel the shift. This is why your heart is beginning to breathe again. And hear me with clarity. I am not giving you a new season. I am giving you a new self. One that is lighter. One that is clearer. One that is restored. One that is strong without pretending. One that can finally walk without the shadows of the past weighing you down. Now the newness becomes visible. Now the heaviness breaks. Now your spirit rises. If this message touched your heart, take a moment to do something important. Subscribe to stay connected to more of this guidance. Leave a like to show this spoke to your spirit. Every time you stay close to words that strengthen you, you make room for even deeper renewal. I speak over you now with the same authority that shaped every word of this message. What I began in you, I will complete. And nothing, absolutely nothing, will be able to block what I have appointed for your future. The renewal I breathed into your spirit is not temporary. It is a deep realignment of your destiny. I lifted the old weight from your shoulders, restored your strength, reopened your vision, corrected your path, silenced the interruptions, awakened your identity, and prepared your heart to carry what once you could only wait for. From this moment forward, you will not walk according to the rhythm of exhaustion, but according to the rhythm of my grace. You will not move from fear, but from authority. You will not step from confusion, but from clarity. I open paths where you saw only walls, and I declare that this new cycle will be marked by progress, peace and breakthroughs that reveal my hand in unmistakable ways. Now I pray over you. My child, I place my hand over your mind and declare peace where confusion once lived. I place my hand over your heart and declare healing where heaviness once settled. I place my hand over your steps and declare direction where uncertainty once whispered. I strengthen you with a courage that does not fade. I wash away the dust of old seasons, and I prepare you for everything I have written over your life. No word of mine returns empty. No plan of mine arrives late, and no promise of mine fails. I cover you with light, anchor you in truth, and lead you forward with my own hand. So it is, and so it will be. And while this presence rests on you, do not let the message end here. Watch the video that is playing on your screen right now. I am using it to continue speaking to you, confirming everything I just released over your spirit. Tap it, stay with it, open your heart. There is more I want to show you. There is something in that video that carries the next part of your breakthrough. Don't ignore it. I'm calling you to keep listening.